Hello everyone, this is Bra Ike, or Isaac aka Bra Ike, as most people would like to call me. I would like to welcome you YouTubers and Tube users on my channel, which is called Bra Ike YouTube. This is 2018. We had a very rough 2017 and 2016, but I wonder how many people, as we go through all these phases of time and through phases of our ages, are we leaving behind a legacy that our children, our grandchildren, and our children's children will be able to use as knowledge for having passed and walked this earth. Either leave them with wisdom to learn our mistakes, and they can also replicate the process to leave their wisdom for the next generation. So in this podcast or video cast, I would like to talk about 4 pressing issues that probably we need to address as individuals or as communities, rather than leave things to politicians, business, and other associations. I think I would like to inspire individuals to take up a stand and do something about the plight of the country or the plight of their communities if they can, but most of all to take a different mindset into becoming proactive citizens and individuals rather than we become reactive. Now I'm going to share with you a banner. This banner, it's about the way forward. The issues that the countries are facing is centered around one of my passions. One is music. I'm very passionate about music. I'm very passionate about art, and I'm very passionate about writing. Now these skills I learned at a very early age as a hobby, and I'm still doing it as a hobby. I want us to talk about writing. Now if you look at this banner was designed as an invitation to people who are going through a very hard times. When I talk about hard times, I'm talking about challenges that the country is facing, one of them being unemployment. Unemployment to the extent that there are graduates who are sitting at home with degrees and they are battling to make ends meet, either because our society or the business community or our environment was not prepared for us to compete with foreigners. When I say foreigners, I'm talking about African foreigners who have a slight competitive edge against us, the local South Africans, maybe because the one, we had a terrible Bantu education, and then 2, our politicians did not prepare a way for us to get to the table before everyone else comes to the table of democracy. Everyone came to the table, took everything they ate, and they left us with breadcrumbs. So talking about unemployment, I know that there's a lot of frustration. I listen to the radio, to 98.7, 92.7 and 2000, radio 2000. All of them are doing a very good job in inspiring or raising issues, either community issues, challenging issues of poverty, challenging issues of racism, and so on. I mean, the list is long. The menu of our frustration can run from here to Cape Town. We will never finish it, but it's a good thing. And then there's also state capture, junk status, you name it. We can have fun about it, and the best way to have fun is self-publishing book courses. This is what I want to talk to you about: how to write and publish your first book or novel in 10 months. If you look at the way this banner has been structured, it says how to write and publish your first book or novel in 10 months. Okay, I've written several books, I've written several journals, I've written several blogs. Fine, it is out of my own initiative. I don't get paid to do it. I just enjoy writing and doing it. So I did have mentors, people who coached me here and there how to write, people who inspired me. So I would like to take the baton and pass it on. So basically for me, my first book, it took me 8 years to just write my first book. And I battled because I didn't know, paraphrasing paragraphs, commas, how to put together chapters in a book, how to build a story, how to use idioms and phrases to make your story interesting. And I mean, it's a whole array of challenges that I faced, let alone finding a publisher and getting the manuscript ready and finding editorial commentaries and people who could help me edit the book. After doing a research for 4 years, the cost to actually produce a book was enormous. I couldn't afford it. So I took it upon myself to do 2 jobs, to work day and night to try and raise part of the money just to complete the book as a project, let alone not publishing it. And another 4 years it took me to actually finally reach a stage where I say, look, I mean, this thing is done, and I would like to stop for a while and show you the actual book. So it took me almost 8 years to complete this book. When fate ties you in a knot, what do you do? So that's basically the overview. But going forward, I would like to say to those who are watching this video, you might be thinking, yeah, but it's very difficult to write a book, and where do you start? Okay, where do you start? The big question. There are many places where you can start, and this is where this course comes in very, very handy, in the sense that let's start with unemployment as the first aspect of this challenge that I mentioned. Now, how will this course help you navigate through your challenge? How will this help you navigate this challenge? How is this presentation related to your frustration in respect to the country's problem? Is the first question that I want to address with you as my audience. The first thing is, almost 90% of South Africans are very frustrated. We are so frustrated that some of us, or some people, would probably be on the verge of trying to commit suicide, especially students who are caught between the rock and the hard place. So we, creative people, individuals, must come out of the woodwork and try and save the day. So most people are not aware how to manage and channel frustration. Now, if you look at circumstances surrounding the politics of the country, as well as the economy and the state of affair of the state capture, everyone has probably had enough of this. But if you listen to radio talk shows, it seems as if there's a trend of people talking, and the more we talk, the more frustrated we become, and the less effort we make to try and do something about it. So here I'm talking about proactive and reactive. So the majority of the time we are reactive. Okay, state capture, Zuma this, Zuma that, and then we leave it there, and then the next week we hear about maybe racial overtones on social media and mudslinging of race issues, and we talk about it and we don't do something. We we write about it on social media, but there's no proactive engagement to try and resolve and solve the problem. Now, how can you turn frustration into a positive thing that can make you release that creativity and become a self-publisher? Self-publishing means you really don't need a lot of money. All what you need a manuscript. So I'm inviting you guys who are unemployed, not only people who are unemployed, there are lots of elderly retired people, teachers, principals, business executives, people who are not engaged, who are retired and are sitting home and doing nothing. So I say, let's challenge ourselves and come and put new principles of togetherness or Ubuntu by publishing our own books and telling our own story. What I really hate most with radio talk shows is that people have no reference or point of reference or credibility on their comments or on what they say, except those people who are credible are people who have written books and they can refer to what they are talking about. But the majority of the times we just comment because it's a nice thing to have. And anyway, public radio wants to get higher ratings. They won't tell you that there are solutions. They are only happy to see you get frustrated. So somehow I get the feeling that we get the short end of the stick. So having said that, we can take example of unemployed graduates. A question that when they see a person sees this self-publishing book courses, how to write and publish your first book or novel in 10 months. The guy is going to say, but I'm an engineer, I can't write, or I'm an accountant, I can't write. But the guy is you are unemployed, you are sitting home and doing nothing. Or you are a teacher, you can't find employment, or you are a plumber or an electrician, highly qualified, but you are sitting home, you are doing nothing. So let's take, for example, in my case, I'm a lecturer in IT, I'm sitting home, I'm unemployed, but I'm doing something. So I'll be running this course to show you how, because it took me 8 years to write my first book, but now I've discovered the shortest, the effective and most affordable way to actually publish your own book. You don't actually need to become a writing expert. Writing requires a specific technique and an approach to become a fully fledged self-publisher. So if you are unemployed, I suppose wherever you are sitting, you are probably more frustrated than me, because I was able to take and channel my anger from this frustration of the country going astray and writing a blog. I've got a blog that I write about it. Look, some articles are not really pleasing to the ruling party or people who are members of the ruling party, but at the end of the day, at least my stress levels are down and I don't have a medical aid, therefore I don't have to worry about medical bills because I'm stressed because of the country's political situation or economic situation. That's one thing. What about the frustration of a relationship? You fall in love with somebody and then the next thing you catch them red-handed, that your partner is having an affair with your best friend and so on. Maybe that could be another area. This normally happens with women. So if you are a woman, you are out there, you are really frustrated with your relationship. This book does not only address frustration regarding political issues facing our country. It could be relationships. Relationships, a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. Why don't you take that anger, channel it and put it in? I'll show you all these techniques because I have done it. Another example is, what if your book becomes a hit? You write a novel. A novel is a creative ability to tell a story more differently than writing a technical book like how to build a house or how to put electrical wiring or how to fix a stove and so on. Fiction, I'm talking about fiction, taking your creativity to the next level. If you are a creative thinker, mostly creative thinkers are in the field of television, but a majority of the main blockbuster movies are made out of fictitious stories, where you create a fictitious story, you paint words with your book to an extent that people can convert it into a TV script or a movie script. So I'm talking about some of those examples. So self-publishing a book that you can call your own and sell could be an alternative to self-employment. You could be sitting there frustrated and you don't know that you have such great talent, so why don't you tap into it? So if you go to this, there's a website called Eventbrite. Let me just show you the link and then you'll be able. Alright, if you go to your web browser and type in eventbrite.com, 0/o/bra-ike- whatever that number is. You will find my profile, you know what I do and you know how I do it and so on. You can see that on this page there is a course that I'm running on the 23rd of Jan, which is obviously this course here that I'm running. And in that course, it's called the beginner's course. This is where I'm going to be sharing with you how to put together your book and how to use 5 elements of human emotions like frustration, anger, hate, to convert it into something positive. So in closing, I'm saying to you, maybe South Africa is not bad. So maybe South Africa is not bad. It is the opportunity, it is negative, that has presented itself so that we can take the opportunity to convert it into something positive. So I want you to like this video if you can, and then share and subscribe so that I can make more videos. I appreciate you listening to me. Please attend the course. If you can't, at least leave a comment and let's see what we can do. There's more coming this year in terms of not only personal productivity but techniques to empower yourself. If you are unemployed, if you are frustrated, you are a musician, you are an artist, you are a writer, or you want to know how to write or want to sell your art on the internet, I can show you all those when that course is available. Thank you very much. Cheers.